And welcome back to the 6th episode of Let's Play Flotsam with me, Scruffy Joe, in a tricorn hat. Flotsam is a game which comes out on the 26th of September 2019. I have been playing it since it was first given to various people for alpha testing purposes, which is what I have been doing. I've been dropping hints on Twitter. I've not been saying anything specific because I've not been allowed to because I signed a non-disclosure agreement and I'm an upstanding chap. So here we are. We are quite near the end of the current batch of content that we have. I have gone a bit wrong because I got the order in which you should do tech research wrong. I'm now fixing that by basically waiting, and I finally allowed myself to do this, which is quite a big building and we need a nice big spot for it. That might work, that's quite nice. Or do we put it over here on the inside, or maybe up there perhaps? Quite like that. I'll put it there. That's going to allow me to build screws and things like that, which will in turn allow me to then build food trucks. Because that's the thing I am currently missing, is food truck. If I had food truck, I would have almost endless supply of food. That's all done. Brilliant. Well done. So we don't actually have any real reason to stay here. But we are going to stay here because I'm going to build a food truck. And I'm going to build some screws first. It's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of organising. And then that's going to start freeing up all of these ridiculously oversupplied food bins, which are full of dry wood and plastic and seaweed. Because we can turn the seaweed into a food source. And that's cool. Right, you're done. Good. We need 10 of those or something. Gosh, one piece of scrap metal allows you to build a screw. That's obviously not a very big bit of scrap metal. Do. Ah, sorry, one piece of scrap metal allows you to build 2 screws. That's slightly more reasonable. That's much more reasonable in actual fact. Why aren't you working? Have we just run out of room? No? What's the matter with you? Oh, we need fuel. Oh, there's always a requirement for firewood. And if we need firewood, that means we need more wood to dry. Well, let's just see how we get on. We'll build the screws. Then we'll build a food truck. We are going to need a lot more firewood, actually, thinking about it. So we need a big patch of wood somewhere. That'll do. 54 pristine bits of wet wood. What else we got? Fish. Loads of fish around here. Some plastic. More fish. So there's only really the one big chunky thing of wood. But that should be okay, because once we've got this factory working, we're going to build our screws. Of course, the food truck will need wood. Actually, does it? That's a good point. Do you need firewood to make sushi? Because in reality you don't. Well, I've got a feeling that for game mechanic purposes alone, reality might not be matched up by what we see in a minute. But let's see how we go first of all. Let's just get the firewood stacked back and going. I just want to draw everyone's attention to the fact that this message here screw. Not having these will really screw you over. Has been true for the last 2 episodes. And it's worth bearing that one in mind. Not having screws will screw you over. And there we go, we can now build a food truck. So we're going to turn seaweed and firewood into food, I think. I wonder if that would fit there if we weren't doing that. I'm going to plonk it there. Because why not? This is a wonderfully chaotic and suboptimal town design that I'm running with at the moment. I have, in my earlier alpha testing playthroughs, built some fairly intricate, that's better, and kind of pretty in places, if it's possible to make something pretty out of junk, which this is not that. What are you saying you're not running? What's the matter with you? I think we'll just perhaps leave that as is for the minute. Maybe just get some more firewood and then have it in reserve. We've got 9 firewood in reserve. There we go. Food truck. Everyone's delivering stuff to the food truck. May have put that in a really stupid place because it would be nice to have a walkway through the middle of there, but I'd have to destroy a bed and possibly that might not work. Just in terms of pathfinding. Pathfinding, I should say, actually used to be quite hilarious. There was a real, I suppose it was probably in May, it became apparent that the drifters did not really care about gangplanks at all. They were happier in the sea. We all said, hey, no one's walking on these gangplanks. We've built all these wonderful passageways and paths, and you know, we even put sort of buoys and things on them, and no one's walking on them. They fixed it, they've got it sorted out now, and as you can see, everyone does wander around on the actual gangplanks. But from the olden days, if you were getting off a boat here and you wanted to go and store your stuff here or deliver it to the fish kebab shop, they would just swim. It used to take them ages. Right, what are we doing? We are going to do that. It takes half a time unit. Does it take fire? Apparently you do need fire to make sushi. That's the truth of it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to turn all of these green things into sushi. So we're going to have 54 bits of sushi, which is a horrendously large amount. We're actually, because we've built a few things and done a bit of exploring, we actually have room, so we might as well go and gather. Whoops, that was the wrong button. Might as well go and gather all of this plastic for the purposes of carrying on building. And have we got some more wood? Yes, we have. Yeah, 20 more wood, that's good. Because we are starting to burn wood now. Which is... it's okay, we've still got enough. And we've still got 1 oil, so we can still make 1 non-wind assistant trip. We'll do that in a minute. Let's just check the tech, make sure we haven't got... we've only got 4 points, which is a pain. It would be good to have 10 points so we could build large storage yards. Plastic recycling would be good because you need a net. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? If you wanted to get the best way of catching fish, which is this way, so you put seaweed in, you get fish out. costs you 15 research, but you also need 15 research in order to build the net. But you also, in order to build it, need to spend 5 research to be able to build screws. So it's quite a convoluted tech path, and I, for one, will be suggesting that they change the way you generate science points, because finding them on hills and not being able to produce them by having a kind of a bloke working on a blackboard or something is a pain in the backside. But anyway, you know, it will get changed, and it'll get developed, and more things will be added, and I don't see this game stop developing for a long time. There's going to be changes, sort of ongoing changes. It's going to become gradually more and more complicated, and there'll be many more things which you'll be able to laugh at and get horribly wrong. Exactly as you have probably experienced if you've played other games of this type. The survival base building games which are humorous instead of fraught with pain and suffering. Because as you can see, I mean, there's been no pain or suffering. It's been a great day. I've really enjoyed playing this for the day. I hope you've going to enjoy watching it, and I hope it's obvious that I'm enjoying it because of this smiley thing under my nose and hidden amongst my bristles. What are we doing? Oh, I've selected the wrong thing. I wondered why that wasn't working. Wait, stop. Sushi, start. There you go, sushi. Food reserves. Let's get that cracking. There is also a load of fish here, so the fact that we can still make tons of food. And as you can tell, I keep saying this, I've said this for the last three episodes, I think. This is just drifting down ever so slightly. So if we had a 5th one, we would never run out of water again, and it would gradually build up until it was maxed. It's sort of tempting to do that, because then you never ever have to worry about it again. But you do want to have it relatively nearby to your town heart. If I do that, doink, can I then do this? Yes. So that number will now go all the way up to 60. We'll never have to think about it again. Because what will happen is the seagull will busy itself with collecting the water out of bathtubs. And that'll be perfect. No worries, no bother. Excuse me. You need a bit more red drink. Red drag. Ooh, that's a big friendly whale. Hello. Has anybody spotted... What's that? Is that like part of a town? Loads of fish here. Absolutely loads of fish. This is kind of almost an end zone, really, when you think about it. There's just... You can stay here and play with your massive amount of reserves, not have to worry about anything, as long as you like. As it happens, we're not going to do that. What we're actually going to do is wait for this to be completed. Have a quick double check on here. We've got 100 space. We've done both of these. We are going to jump on fairly sharpish to the penultimate location on the map and see if we can find some more science points, because it would be nice. I feel like it would be nice to either have big storage yards because it just neatens everything up. Or alternatively houses, because it would be nice to be in a house, wouldn't it? They're also more efficient because you don't need quite as much space. I'm not sure if that's true. One house is bigger, but it accommodates more than one person. So rather than having this area sort of jammed full, we would just have two. Two houses would probably house everybody, I think. I can't really remember. Well, we'll find out in a minute. Right, where am I? Oh my god, somebody died. Who died? Oh no, the seagull died. Why did the seagull die? Is it old age? Oh. Oh, well that's upsetting. I'm not staying in a place where a seagull died. I'm gonna go down here instead. That's sad. Oh, science. Free water. But science. Most importantly, science. Let's go get the science. So we have got 5 people and 6 beds. And we seem to have arrived in amongst a large field of debris. Which is probably a good thing. Plenty of wood. Not that we need any wood. In fact, an absolute ton of wood. Not so many fish. Just quickly do the old circle. So much wood, it's not true. Ah, there are some fish. Weirdly under an island. So we've got 50 fish here. An island covered with stuff that we can make a never-ending supply of sushi from. Oh, we need fish to make sushi. 1 fish and 1 seaweed makes 3 sushi. Ah. Right, let's go and get some fish then. Where was the other boat? Where was the other fish? It was on the island, wasn't it? Lovely. And do they need to be dry fish? No. Normal fish. So let's just temporarily turn this off. Cool. Check the firewood supply. We've got 14 firewood. That's great. I ended up with 14 screws, which we don't really need. We could, if we wanted to, build another food truck. Not really sure there's any point to that though. Yeah, I don't think there's that much point to that. I should want to just talk about the future roadmap a little bit, because we are getting towards the end of the initial content which you're going to get when you buy this game on early access. There are a few buildings obviously we haven't built yet, a few buildings that we're not going to be able to build because we only have 14 tech points. I'm not really sure which one I'd rather show you. I mean, storage yards would save a lot of effort. Let's just do that. If we find another... There we go, look at that. Basically like half a boat. And they are so much better at storing that stuff. Let's just stick one in here for the minute. And this will enable us to demolish the smaller ones in favour of the bigger ones. It's kind of weird because I don't necessarily want to... I want to knock these down so I can replace them, but I can't do it until I've juggled everything a little bit. So this is kind of a... How much space have we got? Hardly any at all. How much space do these things have? Well, it's not going to tell us until they've made it. which is fine. But what we're essentially going to do is build up a massive stock of everything by picking up all of this flotsam that's lying around here and all of here and over here. And we're going to do that by making some small changes to the way our base is designed. And this is kind of the finickiness, which is totally unnecessary, but it's part of the charm of these type of games for me. It's just like, oh, I like it, I'm surviving, it's all fine. It's a bit messy though, and I want it to be nicer. So that's just the way my brain works. I think it's kind of different to other people. We are now producing a ton of sushi though as well, so that's good. Sushi. You can, of course, you can select what goes where. So you could put all of your food in one particular place. You could organise things better, so you could always have spare capacity for the things that you desperately need, if you want to do that. So for example, if I wanted to make sure I'd always have a place to store plastic in, I could just set some of these to only hold plastic, and they would throw away all the other stuff. The problem is they would literally throw it in the sea. You're not finished yet. See, that stores 100. Massive, right? So if we say you store none, and you none, and you none, will they empty them out? Or do we have to actually ask them to salvage them? Because if we can fit, we've got 500 points worth of storage at the moment, and the town heart starts out with something like 70 or 80. Yeah, they are. They're emptying them out. And once they're empty, we will then salvage them, and then we will replace them with these. And then suddenly everything will be slightly neater, and the capacity will be much, much larger. A lot of sushi flying around the place. I may have to get rid of this as well. Let's just salvage that, because we're not going to need that. Other problem, not a problem, a feature. They haven't yet worked out a way of dealing with dead. So we are always going to have a dead seagull just here. And if any of our drifters had died, like on a walkway or something, or potentially in bed, their body will remain there forever. I'm sorry, it's not funny. It is funny. It is funny. It's yeah, it's it's very funny. I've had that happen before, where I've had a series of beds where people who were so hungry and thirsty, they went, oh, forget it, I'm going to sleep. And then they all just died in their beds. It was really tragic, because I then had these 3 beds with dead bodies in them forever. Thankfully, the week after that, they changed the game so much that the save didn't work anymore, so I got rid of it. But for the time, it did make me chuckle. Come on, empty. You're supposed to be taking nothing in. I think we might just have to give this time. What I don't want to do is tell them to salvage it, because if they end up throwing all the stuff on the floor rather than moving it somewhere else, then that metal's going to sink. I'll tell you what, as a test run, that's promising, isn't it? Okay, they did unload it first. Yeah, that's cool. That is working exactly how I wanted it to work. I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about that. Well done, Pajama Llama. Well done indeed. So we are emptying out all of this stuff, and then we're going to take these apart, and then we're going to build these instead. Hopefully. Now, that might be a little bit of a bug. Never mind. Yes, I'm going to assume that was a bug because they should have vanished, but they have not vanished. I wonder if I save it and then reload it, maybe they might vanish. I'm going to try that in a minute. In fact, I'm going to try that just now because we are at the end of another episode, so why not do that now? Yes, let's do that now. Thanks very much for sticking with me during this. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're finding as much amusement by the alpha stage bugs which are cropping up every now and again. They are not actually that frequent, to be honest, and we haven't had any real game breakers. This is annoying, but you could just essentially declare this as a sort of a dead zone in your town. Maybe pretend that it's got, I don't know, rot, barnacles. However you like. It's your imagination. Do what you like with it. Anyway, thank you very much. I shall see you again for probably one more episode of this, and then we're probably going to call it quits after that. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you're enjoying the series. See you again soon. Bye bye.